It's the Sod Pod. Brought to you by Grassland Agro. The Sod Pod. Hello, and welcome to the Sod Pod. As we go into the second half of Season 2, this is episode 15. I'm here with Lauren Stanley, Claire Aspel and John O'Loughlin. But we've got a very unassuming, influential farmer with us today. He's from the Rebel County. We're joined by Mike Bermingham. How are you, Mike?
I'm okay, you know.
You're looking very nervous. There's four of us staring at him.
I've gone right.
Mike, I think it's nearly an insult now to call you a new entrant dairy farmer. You're at it a good while now.
Since 13, James.
Yeah.
13, so we're at it a bit now, alright. But I'd say I'd still get classed as a new entrant, right?
You can't use that one anymore, Mike.
I can.
There's no more excuses.
I can use that excuse. I think I have another 10 years of that.
But Mike, do us a favour. Let's go back. Let's paint the story. You weren't farming originally. You were in construction.
Yeah.
Were you right away from the home farm, or let's fill the blanks?
Fill the blanks. So, James, what did we do? So, in 2009, I actually took over this farm here. And what we had on it before that was dry stock beef and sheep. So, I took over in 2009. I'll tell you, I was sick of my job. I was kind of burnt out from it. Pressure was on. So I had this place taken over. I had to pay out the parents. I had a good bit of debt. I had to pay the stamp duty. A few more bills. So I says, Jesus, how am I gonna make a bit of money out of this thing?
Yes.
To stay going. So I had a bank payment in December. Well, I was lucky enough to have until the following December.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are we going to make money out of this? So I was lucky enough, actually. An opportunity came up there to go contract rearing heifers. So I went rearing about 150 calves and 150 heifers for a couple of years. And we always had an inclination to go dairy farming because we put up a shed at the time for the waste management in 2009, and we left that shed suited to fit cubicles into it at a later date if we were going to go milking cows. So that was grand. We got contract rearing. We were working away for 2 or 3 years. All was going well. And then the quotas kind of hammered home around 12. And the guy we were doing the contract rearing for had to bring home his heifers because he had to drop his cow numbers. He was over quota. That was fair enough, right? So we said, contract rearing is good, but it's not constant, and you don't really get rewarded if you do a good job. Let's say you're getting your base price per day and things like that, which is fair enough. And we just felt that with the dairy farming, we always wanted to go at it, would the dairy farming suit us better? We could make our own cows, we'd be our own boss, we wouldn't be looking over our shoulders, no one would be looking over our shoulders, You
needed a new challenge.
That's it. So we decided, look, there was only one way we were going to go milking cows, and that was go out and buy calves. So we went out that year in 12 and we bought 60 crossbred calves. And the following year, we bought another 60. And the year after then, in 14, we started milking our 55 heifers. The year after then, we were up to 103 cows. So, obviously, with that, then we had to do development work. This was a beef and sheep farm, so there was no roads. We were working on the soil fertility and reseeding program at the time, so we'd always reseed a couple of paddocks and stuff like that, and we were trying to improve the soil fertility. So in 12 then we decided we put in the main network of roads. So we put in 1 kilometre of roadways, fenced the roadways. In 13 then we put in the parlour and we fitted 115 cubicles. In 15 then, what did we do in 15? At the end of 15 then we had to put up a calf shed, kind of a loose 5-column calf house, because we were bedding the calves on the slats and trying to accommodate everything, let's say, and the numbers were growing, and yourself. So we roughed it for a couple of years, but so we kind of grew away that, and we were lucky enough we were able to kind of get up to our number fairly straight away, and we were able to work away. Like I suppose the first 2 years milking cows are very tough, alright, because you don't have the output out of the herd. and but you have the expenses. So, but after once year 3 came in, the cash it started to flow a lot better, let's say. So we walked away from there. Then we did, I suppose, to be honest, we probably did a bit too much out of cash flow, but we just couldn't get access to the money, so we just had to walk away that way. And 17, we probably topped up all the roads and put in bigger water trucks, and we used to do a few projects every year, to be honest, with out of spare cash. And in 2020, then we put in a new silage slab, new calf house, covered cubicles. We spent about another 120 grand that year, so.
Very impressive.
Oh, I don't know about that.
No, but Mike, you've done so much, like.
I don't know. Some days we'd wonder.
You definitely planned this out. This wasn't making up as you go along, Mike.
Oh, yes. Yeah, James. It was strategically planned. How does that sound? No, we did have a plan, all right. Look, we were very lucky inside Moore Park to give us great help doing business plans and stuff like that. So we kind of had it planned that way that we would try and get up to the 100 cows as soon as possible, let's say, and look, it worked out very well for us. Yeah, we're very happy, Very glad we made the change. Now, we did continue the contract rearing for another crowd until about 15, and then we phased out the contract rearing. We actually sent our own heifers out to be reared. So, we swapped it around with what's that phrase, John? The gamekeeper, what is it? Or the poacher tongue gamekeeper. That's what we did.
I knew it.
Go ahead, John. So that's what we did. So, so it was grand, and look, we were delighted with the move, to be honest, which it's good. We have a good lifestyle out of it, and a good, I suppose, good for family life and everything. Like, I've my wife and I've 2 daughters, Sarah and Kaylee. They're 17 and 14, and like they were young when we started, and look, we were able to spend a bit of time with them, and they were able to do a bit of it as well. So
that's critical though nowadays, when the work-life balance.
Oh yeah,
it can be consuming, and you have to do these things.
Well, sure. Look, you have to be finished in the evening to just training on every evening here. I'd say maybe Wednesday evening is probably the only evening we don't have something on. But you have to be finished in the evening. You can't let it take over too much, I suppose. There
was a bit of panic there with Sarah buying Coldplay tickets.
Oh, that's right.
Was there one bought for you, Mike?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Not bad,
yeah. That's why you're on the cheap biscuits today. That's it.
If we were any good, we should have brought him ourselves.
I thought,
one hand longer than the other arriving in.
I had the purple stacks.
Yeah. I was going to get a packet of purple stacks, but they're gone up to €3.
When we seen your fee, Mike, or that was the budget blow.
That was no purple stacks.
Tea only.
Oh, jeez. So.
I suppose when you're mentioning your 2 daughters, it's kind of like a family-run farm, isn't it?
It's a family operation, to be honest. Look, this is myself doing. I say I'm doing the work, but I don't know. I'm bluffing away anyway. But so we've myself, my wife Tina, and the 2 girls, Sarah and Kaylee. Like Sarah and Kaylee can milk the cows themselves and things like that. And we have relief staff there. Maeve O'Flynn, she milks for us 2 evenings, and Jar Healy milks an every evening, and we have. The dog.
She didn't want to be forgotten.
And we have and Tina's brother Pa helps out as well there on that day if he's off from work, and my dad would help out a bit as well. So we've loads of help. That's brilliant. We've loads of help now, in fairness. We're lucky that way.
That's very important though, Mike, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
That's key, to probably a lot of the success.
I suppose so, because I suppose, if you have a bit of help, you have a bit of time to think about things, and it's not all on the one show, the one set of shoulders, like, we can spread it out a bit, so it's handy.
And Mike, 2019.
2019, oh Jesus.
Mike was telling us that was he was saying that was the toughest year the grassland farm of the year coming in.
Oh yeah.
The trophy is here the next
Well, then I was given a dust.
You should have the check as well.
I see. Oh Jesus.
You won it though, Mike.
Yeah, I won the dairy category. Yeah, we were. I don't know how we won it, to be honest with you. I don't know. maybe the standard was a bit low that year or something. I don't know.
I don't know that now.
I don't know. But no, we were very lucky to win. We were very lucky to win it. Look, I'll tell you, we didn't enter to win it. To be honest, we just said we wanted to see how we were going, more so than anything else, and we'd get an assessment of where we were and where we should be going and things like that. And so look, the judging was only. You do it, John. It was only a half a day, and it's walk around the farm and just general discussion group kind of thing. It's not taxing or it's not hard or anything. Yeah, and like they do, and like you get a good bit of feedback on the day, to be fair, and afterwards you get a feedback, and you might get a little lecture at the end.
From John Maher.
From John Maher, he said to me,
who else?
Continuous improvement.
You better do more walks now next year.
He's some detail, isn't he? He's a pure Brian Cody.
Yeah. After getting the plaque, like more walks.
Jeez,
you're not walking enough enough. No, I didn't lose too. I didn't lose too much weight doing it. I think I made too many ginger nuts. But the extra walking, I suppose, to be fair, the extra walking is paying, because since we won, let's say in 19, I'd say our protein has gone up. I'd say it's nearly gone up 0.1. It's gone from 0.8 nearly to 0.9. Let's say our 3.8 to 3.9. And I think it's, and like you'd say, genetics of the cows, but the genetics haven't changed dramatically. But what we're offering the cows is probably between 12 and 1400 consistently, and with the Clover in with it as well. I think it's making a huge difference on the percentage side of things. Look, I'm probably wrong now, but
you're completely right.
You're
completely right.
Mike, would you encourage more people to join the programme?
Oh, definitely. I'm in the Grass 10 group, and it's very good now, in fairness. It keeps you focused on what needs to be done that month. Like in the springtime, it's about getting the fertiliser out, getting the cows out, getting the cows tuned up, and in the summer then it's about managing the droughts and managing the quality and all that kind of stuff. Like so, and in the autumn then obviously it's prepping it for the spring again. Make sure you've closed with enough of grass and you don't run out, So, like I suppose before we won the competition, in April there, we'd have ran the farm down to 350 or maybe 300, and you're all made in feeding heavy to try and catch up.
Like a checklist, like
it is
keeping you on track.
Yeah, keeping you on track the whole time, so.
Mike, at the beginning there, I called you an unassuming influencer. I think you're a very humble man for a Cork man.
Who do I influence?
But you are one of these guys that people around the country want to learn up. But what's really interesting,
I don't know about that. I'm not enough of them.
and I think that's the big thing. You're always in your discussion groups. You're talking about, you're watching what they're doing. You're testing it.
Yeah.
Any kind of wacky thought you have, you say it out loud and you discuss it with other guys and see where they're
the problem,
going.
I'd say. A lot of them now will be saying we should up the medication. But we'd have a good old discussion now, to be fair, and it is great because you think you're the only fella having the problem, but you're not really. Everyone else is having the same problems as you, to be honest, We did the last grass group meeting we had there now. It was just coming out of the drought, and I'd say the rest of the country were growing 70s and 80s and more, and we were all on 40s.
Yeah.
We were just lacking a bit of rain around Fermoy and Ballyhooly, let's say, but thankfully now it's changed, so we're back on track again. But at that time, everyone had a farm cover under 500 to 10 of them.
Yeah.
There was some solace in that, We weren't alone,
Mike, you do facilitate a good bit of discussion groups. You had the young European farmers over, and you do a little bit with UCC.
Oh yeah, with your lads there with UCC will be out with us.
Great lads.
That's it. I'm training them up for you, lads.
Yeah. Thank God.
Makes our job a lot easier.
Oh yeah, I know. I did more questions than answers after me. I'd say. No, I enjoy the actually the students are great.
They're brilliant, aren't they?
Because, and in fairness, they're you'd have other groups, you might have another group coming there, and I don't know, do they only kind of want to look around, just see, but at least with the students, they have an agenda when they come, they want to know something.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially those Moore Park students, those students from UCC, because they're spending a whole semester in Moore Park, so they're very clued into it. It's very intense.
Clued in, very intense, like, you know, like,
so they're interested. They're genuinely interested.
Like their Clover now, what their knowledge on Clover last spring was phenomenal. They were better on Clover than they were on grass even. We did let's say grass in the morning and Clover after dinner, and they were excellent on the Clover stuff. Like they were very sharp now.
But I suppose it's a good learning place for them, because you're part of that Clover 150 program with Mike Egan, Caitlin Looney and Mick Donovan. How's that going for you?
Good. That's that's a great group, to be honest with you.
Mick is keeping on your toes. What? Wouldn't we like him? Yeah. I said Mick, but gee, there's the other two could be harder on you, Mike, huh?
I'd say you're well even for
No, I'm not. No, I'll tell you that's great, because they come out, what have we done? We're in that now since 21, I think. Yeah, 21. And so I suppose at the start of it, the main objective was to get Clover onto farms, let's say, by oversowing or reseeding. So you had to, I think the first year of the trial day, you had to oversow 30%, which was, we oversowed it all right, but it was, and reseed 10%. So we did that. The oversowing at 30% is way too much. I'd say if you're going oversowing, one paddock. Do a paddock that's probably reseeded within 5 years with very good soil fertility, and use plenty of clover seed. And manage it well for the year, and it'll work a treat all right, to be fair. The reseeding is the gold star. The 2 kilos of clover and a proper reseed is the gold star if you want to get clover into the farm. And probably I'd up the reseeding to 15% a year.
Okay. But, and you do all your reseeding then oversown?
No, we'd reseed. Let's say with the 2 kilos in it.
Yeah, 15%.
And the oversowing.
Maybe 10%.
Even Johnny,
if even.
And do you find that you're down a bit of grass production with that?
Yeah, we're down. The oversowing would be down a ton, we reckon, in the year, because we're grazing at a lower pre-grazing cover, maybe 700 or 800 at the start for 2 or 3 goes, and we probably don't let it go over 1200 for the year. And as well as that, then I know Mike Egan will be saying we should be driving on the nitrogen from the 3rd or 4th grazing, but we're keeping the nitrogen out of it. We're going more so soil water on that paddock to try and give it a bit of peen and things. But
I suppose, Mike, that's probably down to a good bit of your soil fertility as well. Your soil fertility is brilliant. Like your pHs, I know before we came on, we were having a chat there, and one of the things that you said was you probably could own your own quarry at this stage. So your pH is exceptional.
I should have bought a lorry.
Yeah. He's wearing a Roadstone jacket now.
Yeah, Roadstone.
Sponsor that.
I'm waiting for the grassland egg roll.
Yeah, exactly. It's in the bag.
But anyway.
But your pH is perfect for clover. You're at that 6.8. Your P's and K's are quite good.
Yes.
And you're topping it up then with that soiled water.
Yeah, we're topping it up. So I suppose we have, at the moment now, we've half the farm in very good clover, let's say. And that's probably getting either half rate nitrogen, let's say 9 units around, or soil water, one or the other. And mainly we're putting the soil water towards that ground. And we've other ground in that'll be under 20% of a clover score. I'd say there's clover now in every field bar one, let's say, out of the 18 paddocks here, there's only, but let's say half of them paddocks then, John, they'll be under the 20%, and there's clover there, but there's not enough to drive, to drive growth, let's say. Like we've Aston Energy there and clover on its own, and it's growing. Even at the end of the drought there, it was the first to respond. It was up to 70 very fast. And I'd say it's only got about 50 odd kilos of in.
But you're still tipping out a small bit of nitrogen.
Oh yeah, we're putting out 9 units around, let's say, on the clover paddocks, and we're putting out 18 then on the non-clover paddocks.
So I suppose you're matching your kind of nitrogen to the amount of clover that is in the paddocks. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, so the clover's working well now. Milk production is very good in that field actually. They milk well now, to be fair, and things like that. So we're very happy with it, and I suppose we're saving, like the ones with the high clover contents are probably growing the most in the year. I suppose the first year you grow clover, you put in the clover, and you're saying to yourself, "Oh, jeez, this thing's not working at all, is it?"
Yeah.
But the best thing to do is maybe the second year is like one paddock side by side now. Let's say we've oversown a paddock, and the paddock beside it didn't get oversown at all, and so one paddock is getting 9 units, the other paddock is getting 18 units, and the two paddocks reseeded at the same time. They're both growing the same tonnage with half the fertiliser in one than the other. So that's it does. So after that, then you've good once you see that happening, you've great confidence in the rest of the farm to do the same.
I think it's key though. You're reseeding about every second year, and you're putting a good bit of clover.
We are. But from now on, we're going to go every year because the reseeding is
key.
Nearly the best way of getting it in, and as well as that, then you're probably getting a bit more tonnage out of the reseeded ground.
Yeah, you're getting the bounce anyway.
There's a bounce as
and
well.
They come back in the drought as well.
Exactly. Yeah, you know,
it's just an animal.
It is. It's an animal to go now. In fairness,
to a farmer that's still apprehensive of clover, Mike, I suppose. I'm here looking, you brought out that pack of ginger nuts, right?
Yeah.
And I turned up my nose. I'd never buy a pack of ginger nuts. And I'm after eating half the packet now.
Yeah.
I'm after getting rightly sucked into them. So I'm wondering, am I like the farmer that's going, I'm turning my nose up at clover?
Yeah.
Jeez, I'm starting to get converted.
Yeah. That's how it happens.
It's amazing.
You have to eat it.
But do you think the fear of bloat, because you do a lot of grass walking, is there any advice you could give on that?
So, look, I suppose bloat is the big concern, and look, we've touched wood, we've been very lucky we hadn't had a bloat issue. But all we are doing really with the bloat is we're not letting them into the paddock early. So what we're doing is, let's say there's a grazing left in the paddock and they must go into a high clover paddock. We put them into the high clover paddock at night. They'll fill themselves, they'll be full anyway, kind of going in, let's say, because there's a grazing left, and we'll put them back in the following day to clean out the other paddock, and they'll have a good bit of the clover wiped out of the other paddock, and we'll put them back in the following night. So they're not going into empty. No. And especially now the way the weather is wet and, you know, dry matters will be low and things like that, you'll be watching them on it, but touch wood now so far we're not using any bloat oil, or we're not doing. We might, if we're caught, if we do it wrong or something, we will put up the strip wire and hold the cows in the yard maybe for the 3 hours. You know.
Yeah.
You know, or not hold the cows, but give them a 2 or 3 hour break. Yeah.
Unlike James here coming in hungry, absolutely down in the.
I only had the breakfast 90 minutes ago. Sure.
I suppose when we're talking about soil fertility and spreading nitrogen on these clover paddocks, what would your thoughts be then if you're looking maybe at your protected urea, going another step forward and trying to get the most out of the nitrogen?
So that's what we're using on the clover sward is the protected urea, and we just have the spinner cut down, let's say, to the 9 units. Like we probably give it, it probably get slurry, proper slurry. We use up all the slurry really in the springtime between February, the middle of January to the middle of April, let's say. We use up all the slurry, then the contractor does it with the dribble bar, and we'd use the protected urea then from then on in, let's say, and we'd use half rate urea on the clover paddocks, and no issue with it.
Yeah.
We're getting on, look, I suppose we only started using the protected urea in 19, and since then we're using it all the time. It's our nitrogen source, let's say, you know.
Okay.
And no issues with it at all. I suppose the only issue we had was the first year or two, the stripes.
Yeah.
Stripes.
And the neighbours looking in at the
stripes.
stripes.
Looking at it, yeah. But we have the GPS in the tractor. Well, we actually had the GPS at the time.
Wasn't turned on.
We fixed it. And geez, since we've, you know, and maybe don't spread as wide, I suppose is the only answer. And it's working out very well. It's working out very well for us now.
Do you think it's comparing then to can or doing this?
As good as, no issues at all, definitely. We haven't used can now since 19. Yeah. But
you were a big advocate of can.
We didn't like the urea at all. Before that, we were, we had groups here and, no, it's the bag of can, it's the bag of can. But we switched over anyway to the urea.
I suppose, again, it's kind of like a mindset. Like
it is.
You think you can't, and you're not really giving it the full opportunity.
You're not giving the chance, I suppose. Another example of that is the two paddocks again. Put can on one and put urea on the other, and what's the growth rate like and things like that. And we did that, and there was no difference between the protected urea and the can, to be honest. We didn't find any difference anyway.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
Now, we did have the soil fertility.
Yeah. I'm looking at your soil reports here. You have indexes of 3s and 4s with P's and K's here. Very good soil.
I suppose they don't know they were ones.
But that's it. Like you started there and you've been at it and you've been built it, and now you can reap the reward just putting your clovers in. You have the correct fertility. Yeah.
Exactly. You know.
I think it's interesting though, Mike, that you're such an advocate of using the urea, especially because like you're a north facing farm here, so you'd be colder. Like
cold, we're about 550, 600 feet. Like in the springtime now, we're cold. We'd be fortnight behind Moore Park easily. Like we get the wind here, it cuts the top of the grass, cuts the top of the grass. Stresses it. But the thing is,
this is a new one.
You ignore my signals.
Yeah, this is a new one.
I had signals now, Mike.
This is a new one. Yeah, no, this is
now. I'm evolving.
Yeah.
You're nearly finished.
Finally, with peer pressure to now, they're doing the landing the plane.
Yeah.
I'll do it for you now before we finish up.
We can do an extended.
Yeah.
I say we're going, but this could be a 3-hour long episode.
And Mike, you came on a brilliant journey, right?
Yeah.
Where are we going next?
Oh no, we'll let the dog out.
You're in the doghouse now, Mike. No, leave it in. Put it straight up.
Earliest you can listen to this too.
Do you know, with all the... this is the one now that had you up at night. But you know, with nitrates, right?
Yeah.
Sustainability.
Oh, yeah.
Are you worried?
Yeah, we are.
And a lot of your peers probably are as well.
Yeah, we are worried. Like, to be honest, sure. Look, you can handle the weather. Look, we've had weather events since 18. We've milk prices up and down. Look, you can work around that, but it is the uncertainty of what, like, we don't know what will be stocked at this time next year yet. So, like, we could be at 220, and that's another few cows gone out of the system. It's like the land isn't around us. Let's say there isn't availability.
You're in the mixer.
We're in a right tight spot. So yeah. And if you want to make, let's say now, ideally, I'd love to put up more slurry storage because I think we probably shouldn't be spreading too much slurry in the end of January and February because the cows are going out. The reason for us not spreading it is the cows are going out. We want the cows to eat the grass, but we'd like to be able to follow the cows with the slurry.
Yeah.
So maybe put out our half bag of urea on the 1st of February. Put out the slurry then after, and from the 1st of March on, spread away your slurry after the cows if the weather is suitable and into April or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, weather suitability. And ideally, I'd like to double my slurry's capacity at the moment, right? So that I could keep slurry into April.
Important point on that though is on paper you're still...
we're
like you have enough slurry storage.
Yeah,
but this is off your own back.
This is off our own back. But why would you do that even though, look, it'd probably take an awful long time for this to pay for itself, but you know, for P's and K's we have the nutrients above in the yard, right?
Yeah.
And it's only putting it out at the right time would be, you know, more beneficial than spread it in January or February, let's say. You know, making a mess of the place, or you know, I'm not saying putting it out in the bad weather or anything, you know.
No, but like
losing
just because
it,
you have to go like
you have to go like, exactly, you know.
I think it's a very good idea.
Yeah, but if you cut back 20 cows, then what are you doing it for?
Yeah.
Do you know, like you could probably spend 50. Look, I'm only making a figure up in my head now. Let's say you spend 50,000 and you get a bit of a grant in it, and you end up putting 30,000 of capital into it. So, like over 10 years, it'd be only $3,000 a year, right? It would be you'd nearly make it back into P and K.
Yeah.
Okay. But like, sure, it could be a bit of a white elephant.
Yeah.
You know,
because you might end up with the slurry storage anyways.
I could have enough for slurry storage there to get me into the middle of February, the end of February. Do you know what we have at the moment? So why would you bother putting up more then?
Mike, is probably and I think a lot of farmers are the same. So there was a 10% cut to the upper level of the nitrogen last year. Normally batting either. There's no 5% probably coming. It's the stocking rate from a farmer's point of view that year.
It's not the nitrogen because, like, to be fair, the clover will nearly, if people put in the clover, look, and I'd say that'll pick up a bit of the slack there because what you're sparing in one paddock, you can put out in the next paddock. So you'll give yourself a chance to get in there, but I would probably say get on with it. Yeah, you know, right? So the nitrogen isn't the issue; it's the stocking rate. Like on this farm now, let's say when we started milking cows, we could have milked 115 cows. Okay, you had 250 kilos of in, and the cow was worth 85. Sorry, that cow now has gone to 92, so we can only milk 96 cows. Or 100 cows, and next year it'll be down to 92 cows if the 220 comes in. So like we're losing stocking, but I did my plan on the 115 cows. Yeah. 10 years ago, and if I'm to do the next plan now, what will I plan it on? 80 cows?
Yeah.
Or what? It's just the uncertainty is
yes.
But even it's a threat to farm families, like, because from the outset in this, like, your family are very important.
Yeah.
In the whole thing, and that you're able to farm full time.
That's it. Like the two of us are at home here involved in the business. There's no other source of income coming in here, only farming. So it has to work. Like we've 94 cows now this year. Like, geez, if a fella would have told you 20 years ago that you wouldn't make a living out of 94 cows, like,
What the worst of it is that you're nearly a victim of your own success. Looking at your co-op performance report, there's no 10% passengers. Other guys and girls may be able to
call out that way a bit,
but like your cows are exceptional.
Yeah, they're going well now. Like, I suppose we've done a lot of culling in the past 3 or 4 years and things like that, and we've brought on good, like, I suppose hopefully they're good stock, like, but yeah, like, there isn't much. Like, if you went up to small now, you might pick out 2 or 3 cows that you don't like. That'd be about it, like,
Yeah. Push, like, and that'd be
a push.
Picky, like, you wouldn't pick them off the figures, I don't think. Like.
No, you wouldn't be.
Might be a slow milker there.
That's one of them.
Yeah. I remember.
She's going.
That's the one you were trying to sell us, yeah. Truth comes out. And come here, I think something that's very topical is, I suppose, the breeding, and something that you've been proactive about is the sex semen.
Yeah, we've used it on the cows now this year. And what we've done as well is we've cut back on the amount of replacement heifers we're breeding. So we only need 20 tops. So we're pushing down the numbers of Friesians we're breeding and crossbreds we're breeding. So we've used sex semen now last year, and all the crossbreds we're using sex semen Jersey. We use conventional Friesian, but next year we'll probably switch all sexed and use high DBI beef bulls. And we used high DBI beef bulls now. I'd say about 20 or 30% of the first round even got beef. So yeah.
It's unheard of, like, in years gone by, like.
Yeah. Like, always the past since 15 or 16, we've always only ever done 3 weeks of Friesian, and we've put in the beef then after that. So So I suppose we'll take it another level now, maybe, with less again, let's say, So,
and you have built up a local trade for the calves?
Yeah, we're lucky enough with the calves now. We've a local trade there. We've 2 or 3 farmer buyers, and look, we'd probably take the Friesian ones to the mart. But we'd probably keep them for a month.
Yeah, that's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, they'd be about 55 kilos now. I think we should be aiming more at the weight than the age, that you'd have a decent calf.
And the fact that you have the facilities to keep them for that time period is really...
It is. We, in 2020 there, we did put up the shed for them that time, and we can accommodate all the calves now at the moment. Let's say we could...
That makes a difference.
It does. It does. You're not stuck to go on a day with them, you're not over full, let's say, so it's handy,
Mike, there's 2 things, because we've taken up a lot of your time.
Oh, yeah.
The only question that I actually told you I was going to ask you, I haven't yet. A year and a half in the making, a year and a half planning.
Typical
Mike
John.
Putting me off. Yeah. He was putting me off. He's like, no, John, I need more time to prepare. So there's 2 parts to this, right? The first one is, why do you grass measure? Because we never get a farmer perspective, really, and what is it about it that makes you do it? And the second one is, with John Maher, we're after saying, okay, yeah, we'll answer this one.
I get confused.
Yeah, we'll answer this one. And one quick one.
And the reason I said I get confused, that's why I grass measure. Less decision making.
Yeah.
Less guessing, I suppose. And sure, you can get a different reason for grass measuring for every season. So in the springtime, what you want to do, you have an opening cover and you don't want to run out of grass until the 10th of April here, say, right? So then every week you go measure the farm and you make sure that you're not eating too much grass, right? And you're filling up the cow. The most important thing, keep the cow fed.
Yeah.
Right? Whatever about grass measuring, to keep the cow fed. But don't run out of grass, because we've ran out of grass 2 or 3 years in a row in the spring, and we'd be measuring the grass.
Go on.
Ran the farm cover down to about 300, maybe 350. Oh, it'll grow next week.
It's coming. It's coming.
Put out the line, put out the can. Even the grassland agro can doesn't work last time.
Things are flying.
He did it that bit now.
Definitely
That one is gone. That one is gone.
That's gone. But it is seriously. But it could be into the end of May by the time you're back on track, and you're putting in 4 kilos of ration or 5 kilos of ration into them cows. Whereas if you watched it in March, put in a bit of silage earlier, put in the ration earlier, spare the grass until April, and then let them. And then, to be honest, let them. We pull the strip wire in the end of March, start of April, no strip wire.
Oh yeah.
Let the cows at it, and try and pare back the meal. Let's say feed the meal then according to what grass you need.
Yeah, feed the wedge.
Yeah, exactly. And for let's say take April and then, what are you doing? You're managing quality. You're trying to get them into the right pre-grazing covers, which keeps the protein good and high for you, and less meal. And then when you're heading into, which we're getting every year now, is a drought or a blip in the weather. It's how do you spread it? How do you manage the grass? Because you can't lengthen out the round too much because the quality will go crap. You have to be able to put in the feed, and then you have to be able to know when to take out the feed.
Yes.
So that's why we measure. And then in the autumn, then it's build up the cover. And the most important thing then is have enough grass in the 1st of December that you can start it all over again next year.
Yeah. Go again. And even it's having the grass in spring from a labour point of view.
Oh, sure. That's the main. Why do we measure the grass? Because we don't like one.
But even the cows themselves,
even
they love
cows,
it.
like this year now is a prime example. If you want measuring grass, I know we can't control the weather, right? But I'll tell you one thing, I was sick of feeding silage this year. March and into April, into the 5th, I can tell you the date, the 15th of April, we put out silage. We got a bad day that day and we put out silage that day. And I'll tell you one thing, I was sick of feeding silage. But if you measure the grass and manage the grass, and if you could we couldn't avoid it with the weather now this year, but on a normal year, we'll say, geez, if those cows in the middle of April were getting a full feed of grass and maybe 2 or 3 kilos of nuts with it, there'd be the milk, there'd be 2 litres of milk more and no work, which is the most important thing.
The last part of the question is, would you encourage maybe anyone listening to enter the Grassland Farm of the Year Award to give John Maher his club there, because we're slagging him here there?
Yeah, definitely. Oh, geez, definitely. Look, I suppose why do we want to do it? Because we just wanted to see where we were going and where we could rev it up a bit. And in fairness, we did learn a lot from it, and we have revved it up since. Yeah. To be honest, I suppose is it? Use your hurling analogies now. Are you going from junior C up to county?
I am mid-break.
With a bit of training,
No fear of that with John on here.
Yeah.
Very sharp today. Leave that bit in.
Definitely stay at it.
Any compliment I can get on this podcast, I'd be delighted. Anyway.
But yeah, I'd recommend any. I think just. Yourselves are going out, you do the soil side of things. John might be looking at the grass, the department of the air. You've a good, you've 5, I think there was 5 out. The bank were there, Aidan Brennan was there. You've a good, and it's a broad, anything could come up in the conversation, to be honest, and you've 5 people there, that's 5 ideas maybe that you might get out of it at the end of the day, hopefully, hopefully. No, I'd highly recommend it. And I'd highly recommend people to go to the walks and see what the people are doing, that have won it or that have runners up or anything like that. I'd go and see those places, because they're You know, they're good guys, like, you know, like they've improved a lot since I did it, John, to be fair.
They can incorporate them into their own farm, to their own system then, and they can all piece it together, you know. Exactly. Right, Mike, we're out of ginger nuts. I want to thank you for welcoming us to your farm and into your home. It was great to meet your two daughters, Sarah and Kaylee, here. They'll be the future of the farm.
That's it.
And, of course, the financial controller and wife, Tina.
Yeah, that's it.
Mike, it was an absolute pleasure.
Thanks a million. All right, thanks, lads. Thanks for that.
Thanks a million, Mike.
Thanks,
really
Mike.
appreciate it.
Mind yourself out there. Farm smart, farm safe. Hey, thanks for listening to the Sod Pod. We hope you enjoyed it. To find out more, head over to www.grasslandagro.ie or check out our social channels: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn and YouTube. That's all for this episode. See you next time.